You've sent over some truly thought-provoking material on the Tao Te Ching. And I think what we're aiming for today is to really distill its essence, get past maybe some initial mystery and grasp the core wisdom.
Agreed. The Tao Te Ching, while it's profound, it can sometimes feel a bit like trying to hold water, can't it?
Yeah, exactly. Slippery.
So our goal is to make those core principles feel a bit more tangible.
Right. And our guide for this exploration is this source, El Libro Mágico, podcast.pdf.
Oh, yes.
Joan Doménech Cardenachs introduces the Tao Te Ching through this really quite enchanting story. It involves a young girl, Ixtel, and her teacher.
Which is a great way in, I think. That narrative approach, it really lowers the barrier to entry, doesn't it? It lets you engage more intuitively.
Totally agree. It makes it feel less abstract. So, okay, our mission here is to unpack the fundamental wisdom in this text in a way that's clear, hopefully illuminating, and helps you, our listeners, see how it might be relevant without feeling, overwhelmed.
Let's do it. Where should we start?
Okay, maybe. Let's start at the beginning. The source of this wisdom, Lao Tzu and the Tao Te Ching itself.
Right, Lao Tzu, often called the Old Master. He's the one traditionally credited as the author, lived in ancient China a long, long time ago.
And the source points out he wasn't just any thinker, was he? He was supposedly a royal librarian.
Yeah, which is fascinating to think about.
Imagine the sheer volume of stuff he must have read. Histories, philosophies, observations.
Absolutely. It paints a picture of someone just immersed in the accumulated knowledge of that time. It likely fostered this, sense of cycles, patterns.
Underlying principles. Makes sense.
And that famous story of how the book even came to be written is quite something, as he was leaving the city, apparently.
Right, wanting a quieter life, and this border guard stops him.
Yeah, recognizes his wisdom and basically says, hey, before you go, write this stuff down.
It's almost accidental, isn't it? That this chance encounter gave us such a hugely influential text. Says something about how people saw wisdom back then.
It really does. That guard knew Lao Tzu had something valuable. And the title itself, Tao Te Ching.
The Book of the Way and Virtue.
Exactly. Gives us a clue right away.
Okay, the Way Tao. Seems like a path, or maybe a fundamental order, like you said. But virtue te? Is that like being good, morally?
Ah, good question. It's a bit different. In this context, te, or virtue, is more about the inherent quality or power of something, like its unique character.
Okay.
It's about embodying the Tao, the way in how you act, how you are, the natural expression of living in sync with that flow.
Got it. So less about being virtuous and more about authenticity, living your nature.
That's a good way to put it. Now, the source does mention the whole historical debate, right?
Yeah, whether Lao Tzu was one real person or maybe a legend or even like a group effort over time, how much does that uncertainty really matter for understanding the book itself?
Well, it's interesting history, for sure. But I think the power of the Tao Te Ching isn't really tied to who wrote it down.
Yeah.
The ideas themselves, they've resonated for centuries across cultures. That suggests they tap into something deep about, being human and the world around us, regardless of the author.
Yeah, the wisdom stands on its own. Okay, so with that context, let's get into the big one. The Tao itself.
The Tao.
The source uses this lovely analogy of a constantly flowing river. What's that telling us?
Oh, the river image is perfect. It captures the Tao's dynamic, ever-changing nature. It's not static. It's a process.
A flow?
A continuous flow, yeah.
Yeah.
The underlying force making everything happen, day becoming night, summer turning to winter.
Even laughing and crying, the source mentions.
Exactly. All part of this current, the rhythm of the universe.
And it's really important. The source stresses this. It's not a person, not a god pulling strings.
No, definitely not. It's a principle, like the wind analogy they use.
Right. You can't see the wind, but you see the leaves move. You feel it.
Precisely. You see its effects everywhere.
So if the Tao isn't like a person judging us or anything, how does that change how we relate to it?
Well, it shifts the focus, doesn't it? It's less about pleasing a deity or following strict rules handed down from on high.
Okay.
And more about observation, understanding the natural rhythms, aligning ourselves with that flow rather than trying to control it or fight it, finding our place within it.
Adaptation, not control. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, so building on that, let's unpack some key ideas from the Tao Te Ching. First up, interconnectedness.
Ah, yes. The idea that everything is linked.
The source uses the image of a giant puzzle. What's the takeaway there?
The puzzle really highlights that every single piece, no matter how small it seems, has its place. It fits. It contributes to the whole picture.
Nothing's truly isolated.
Exactly. Take one piece out and the whole thing changes. And then there's the spider web metaphor, too.
Right. Touch one thread.
And the whole web vibrates. That adds the dynamic element, showing how actions ripple outwards.
Consequences, maybe unseen ones.
For sure. Like the example they give, rain helps plants grow, plants make oxygen we breathe.
Simple but profound connection.
It really drives home that our actions matter, maybe more than we realize. We're part of this huge responses system.
Okay, interconnectedness. Got it. Next big idea, balance.
Equilibrium.
Harmony.
The source uses a balanced scale. Pretty clear image. What's the core principle?
It's about finding that middle ground between opposites. The Tao Te Ching suggests that stability comes from not letting either extreme take over.
Like in nature, too much sun, you get a desert. Too much rain, a flood.
Exactly. And this isn't just cosmic stuff, right? It's super relevant to daily life.
Like work and rest,
Yeah.
talking and listening.
Absolutely. If you only work and never rest, you burn out. If you only talk and never listen,
Yeah.
well, that's not much of a conversation, is it?
No.
The source uses that cute seesaw example with Ixtel and Paula.
Oh, right. If one's always up and the other's always down, it's no fun.
Exactly. It needs that give and take. That balance applies everywhere, studying and playing, being kind to others, and taking care of yourself too. Neglect one side, and things get wobbly. It's a constant reminder, then, to seek that harmony, avoid extremes. Okay, next concept. Flowing like water.
Oh, I love this one. Such a powerful image.
What does it mean in this context?
It's all about adaptation, flexibility. Water doesn't crash head on into a rock trying to break it.
No, it just flows around it.
Exactly. It finds the path of least resistance. It fills whatever shape it's in. That yielding, that adaptability is presented as a kind of strength.
So instead of resisting change or obstacles...
You learn to work with them. Like
Yeah.
example, can't play outside because it's raining. Okay, find something fun to do inside instead.
Don't just bang your head against the locked door.
Right. It's about resilience, reducing frustration by accepting what is and finding a new way forward. Super useful for life's curveballs.
Definitely. Okay, resilience through flexibility. Then there's the power of simplicity. This one feels almost countercultural today.
It really does, doesn't it, in our complex world? But the Tao Te Ching suggests that the most important things, the real truths, are often simple. Well, like breathing. Simple, automatic, totally essential. Or, the feeling behind a simple act of love or kindness.
The source mentions a wildflower growing without any fuss.
Yeah, or the comfort of just a hug. Nothing complicated, but profound. It's an invitation to value the simple things a walk. Birds singing, not just the flashy or complex.
Finding beauty and value in the ordinary. I like that. Okay, final key idea from the source. Knowing oneself.
Self-awareness. Crucial.
Why is it so important in this framework?
Because if the Tao is like a river, understanding yourself, your feelings, your tendencies, strengths, weaknesses, helps you navigate that river.
Ah.
The source uses the analogy of exploring a new toy to see how it works. Introspection is like that for ourselves.
Understanding your own operating system.
Pretty much. And like using a map before a trip, knowing yourself gives you an inner compass. It helps you make choices that align with who you really are, with that natural flow.
So it's practical, not just navel-gazing, but a tool for living more
Right, yeah.
authentically.
Exactly. More in harmony. Which brings us nicely to the last point.
The personal nature of the Tao.
Yes. This is really key. The Tao Te Ching isn't a rule book. It's not dogma.
No single right way to do it.
Precisely. It's presented as more of a mystery, something you explore and discover throughout your life. Your relationship with the Tao, your understanding of it, is deeply personal.
So my Tao might feel different from yours.
Absolutely. It's your path, your river.
Yeah.
Each person feels it and understands it in their own unique way. There isn't one answer key.
That feels less pressured, more like an invitation.
It is. It's about cultivating that inner awareness, that sensitivity to the world, and your place in it.
Okay, so let's try and sort of pull this together. Through this exploration, using the insights from El Libro Mágico, it seems the Tao Te Ching is less about rigid rules and much more about, understanding everything's connected.
Striving for balance.
Learning to flow with change, like water.
Appreciating simplicity.
And maybe most importantly, that lifelong journey of getting to know yourself.
That sums it up nicely. And hopefully this deep dive has given folks a solid, accessible way into these pretty profound ideas. That narrative approach really helps, I found.
Me too. It makes it stick. So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Consider how these principles, that interconnectedness, the balance, the flow, simplicity, self-awareness, how might they already be playing out in your life?
Yeah, maybe in ways you haven't really noticed before.
What's the unique river, that you're navigating right now?
It's a lifetime of reflection, really. The Tao Te Ching offers so much to think about. This is just, well, scratching the surface.
The beginning of an exploration?